Rhett Louder can't get the job done, and the Reds' hopes for a postseason run are about done.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi there, I'm Stephen Offenbaker. He's Tim Daniel, and you are an everydayer for Locked On Reds. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. A little bit later in today's show, we are going to be talking about center field and what that looks like moving forward. It's a little bit crazy to think they're finding a way to shoehorn Matt McLain in. We're going to talk about that here in a bit. A little bit later, we're also going to talk about the last ditch hope of the Reds to, I guess, still say they're in the hunt, to still say they're in the wild card race. That's going to be Andrew Abbott riding the ship. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. But where we are going to begin, Tim Daniel, is with Rhett Louder, because he had another bad start, another start that didn't get through the fifth inning, another start where he just really wasn't fooling anybody. He lacks an out pitch. He lacks the ability to put anybody away, really. And he looks like a shell of the guy he was and the guy that we expected him to be. These struggles, I think, are leading to a place where he's very quickly going to find himself pitching for a different team.
Oh, just as my ring light goes out, how fitting. Yeah, and the thing that's so funny about the game last night, Steve, is he's like, his strikeout to walk ratio was really good. But everything else was not. And he looked pretty promising the first couple innings. And then I want to say it was like the fourth inning. It was kind of like the Brewers were able to play station to station, and it kind of just made everything really difficult for the team. I'm with you. It just, whatever's going on with him is obviously very discouraging. I still feel like he's going to end up being a good major league pitcher. I mean, you obviously have to talk about the fact that this is a guy who's already spent time on the IL this year. This is a guy who's obviously missed all of last season. I'm pretty confident that next year, whatever that looks like, he's going to be better. And I do think he's a guy you can look at in the future as a back into the rotation kind of pitcher. But right now he just doesn't have it. And it's discouraging because they need everything they can get, obviously. So I don't know what the game plan is for him from here, but you're right. There's no out pitch. There's no fooling everybody. There's no crazy breaking ball pitch that everyone just wants to see and gets people off balance. So I don't know what you do.
Here's the thing. The Reds have announced that Hunter Greene is coming back this coming weekend. It's going to pitch against the Orioles at Great American Ballpark. The Reds are going to have to make a move, and somebody is going to have to give up a rotation spot. After what we've seen the last several times out from Rhett Louder, I feel like it's his rotation spot. And the only real question I think that remains to be answered, Tim, is does he come down with a case of inflated ERA-itis and go on the injured list? Or do they send him outright to Louisville to work on things and be around? Now, there could be an opening here really quick when we reach the trade deadline. If the Reds move Brady Singer, then Rhett Louder would be your guy that you slot right back in. So either scenario works. He goes on the injured list. He spends 10, 15 days there, comes back right about the time the Reds are talking trade deadline, or he keeps going, you go down to Louisville, you try to work on things and figure out exactly what it is that's going wrong this year.
Yeah, I think it's Louisville bat syndrome is what he's going to be coming down with. It's just going to be, it's really difficult. The only place you can get that figured out is AAA, because there's no benefit to him sitting out right now. Give him a situation where he can go down to Louisville, find his confidence.
Except that if you did give him another IL stint here and save 2 or 3 starts, those are 2 or 3 starts that you'll have in September. Because remember, he's not stretched out for a full season. They're going to have to find a way to create a little block of time where he's not pitching so that he's available all the way in to the end of the season, especially if they trade away Brady Singer. They're going to have to find guys to fill those starts that Brady Singer would be taking. So I could see a scenario where they put him on the injured list for a couple of reasons: to rest up his arm, to stretch him deeper into the season, to let him kind of mentally unplug and hope that he can come back and be a better version of himself.
You're right. Yeah, that's a fair point. I'm okay either way at this point, just because I don't know what they can do with him at this point, but you can't obviously, Chase Burns, Andrew Abbott, they're protected. They're not going anywhere. Nick Lodolo is so up and down right now, but I feel like the team's better with him than without him, even though that's not saying much. So yeah, it's got to be Louder. And I hope the best for him. Like I said, I do feel like he's going to be really good next year. But right now, he's got to find his swagger back, man. And I don't know how he's going to do that at the big league level.
Yeah, it's hard to when you're looking at his performances and you're looking at his stats, it's hard to program your mind to be like, well, first of all, he missed an entire season. And that was after making 5, 6, I don't have it in front of me, 6 big league starts the year before. So he doesn't have a lot of big league time. I can imagine there's a lot of working his way back going on here after being shut down for so long. I'm with you. I think he's going to be a good major league pitcher. I think that, we've seen flashes of what it is that he can be. But right now, the Reds just cannot afford, especially with this bullpen that has just been so bad. They can't afford to have starters go out there day after day after day and only give you 4, 5 innings worth of work and expect this bullpen to cover the back half of the game with any semblance of positive results, because the bullpen can't get it done either.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, if you look at last night, Caleb Ferguson, Julian Garcia did an all right job. For Red standards, they were basically elite, but that's what we're at right now. Is Julian Garcia's got to go throw 2 2/3 innings, and this is a guy who wasn't even thought of as a potential major league player in April. So we're now kind of having this guy like, sorry, man, we just need you to eat innings. You're probably going to be back in Louisville tomorrow because you threw too many innings for us, and we need free arms. I just am so tired of this route of. I talked about this in the postcast for the center field position, but I can use it here. I'm tired of Band-Aids. I'm tired of just throwing something in the cover, like, that like meme where it's like the guy just puts like tape on like all the water that's coming out of the tank. That's the Reds bullpen, and just like a revolving door of this guy's not good, send him down. This guy goes and throws 4 innings, send him down, kind of thing. It's at some point it's got to stop.
Jeff and I spent some time yesterday talking about the return of Hunter Greene and what's a reasonable expectation for when he returns. And Jeff and I will unpack that some more as we get closer to the start. But while I've got you here and we've got a minute, what's reasonable to expect from Hunter Greene when he comes back? Because he only made 2 rehab starts in Louisville, second time out through 85 pitches. But I'm concerned that he's going to be another one of these guys at the big league level that comes back a little too early, and that means he can't go deep into the ball game when he makes his start on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm suspecting he's probably going to throw about 4 innings on Saturday, and that's not enough, obviously. But the encouraging thing and the beneficial thing for him is when he's coming back, they get a break the next week. So he kind of gets to throw a start or 2, relax for a week, pick back up where he leaves off after the All-Star break. Actually, I don't know, because they go to Colorado to start the post-All-Star break, and that's not where you want a pitcher to get back at it. But with that being said, the thing about him, though, is you just don't know, because he is so talented. He could go out there and throw 6 innings of 2-hit baseball, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Or he's got 74 pitches in the 3rd inning. Let's go out there for 1 more and get someone else ready to go, get Chase Petty ready to go out there and throw some extra innings.
Yeah, 85 pitches in that last start in Louisville, and we all know that pitching at the big league level is different for a pitcher. Yes. They throw harder, it's more adrenaline. Wear on the arm is different. But I could see them giving him 80 pitches to work with in this first start. Now, if he can have a couple good innings, he could get deeper in the game. I think, in my mind, if he can get through 5, don't pressure luck, get him out of there, regardless of what the pitch count looks like. If he still has some, bullets left, I would get him out after 5. I wouldn't test fate. I wouldn't push him hard. And then you kind of expand him from there. As you say, the All-Star break is going to happen after his first start. So it's going to allow for after his second start rather. So it's going to allow for him to kind of build slowly.
Yeah, and the thing I was going to throw in there, I didn't mean to talk over you, I apologize. It's just the fact that like he's already a high pitch count kind of guy, and this isn't an insult to him by any stretch of the matter. That's not what I'm saying, but it is because he's a strikeout guy. Like he is a 5-pitch strikeout kind of pitcher, 5-6 pitch strikeout kind of pitcher. So for him, he's always going to have games where he throws about 96, 97 pitches in the 7th inning, but he's going to have about 7 or 8 strikeouts at that time too. So that's something you got to think about as well. Like if he has 6 strikeouts and you feel really happy about it, check the pitch count, because I would be encouraged by it. You mentioned only 2 rehab starts. They were certainly encouraging to see the numbers he put up. But yes, I'm also with you. I'm very anxious about what this means for him.
Well, I said it at the open. The Reds season is in fact in peril. They've lost the first 2 games to the Milwaukee Brewers in a 4-game set. If they're going to salvage a split, it starts today with Andrew Abbott on the mound. There's nothing like watching a Reds game. Even better is when you get to watch it live, the excitement, the fans. The only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind, long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's why there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you can unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. It's simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means that you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price that you see. So what you see is what you pay, period. Jeff and I use this all the time. We head down to the banks. We find our favorite spot. We grab something to drink. We grab something to eat. And as we get close to first pitch, we grab our tickets and head on into the ballpark. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats in minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide on last-minute tickets to the game. Take the guesswork out of buying your MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply. Again, create your account and redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Thanks for being an everydayer. If you haven't done so, click that subscribe button. It is free, and it will get you notified every single time we drop something in the feed here on YouTube, whether it's Jeff and I on Locked On Reds Monday through Friday, or if something special happens, or Tim Daniel live after each and every Reds game all season long. You're going to get that notification. Click the notification bell. If you're listening on the audio feeds, make sure you click subscribe so that everything automatically downloads to your feed and you never miss any of the great Reds content we've got coming your way. All right, Tim, if this season is going to continue to remain in the conversation of they can be a wild card contender, it has to start today, and it has to start with Andrew Abbott helping pitch this team to a win. The problem with that is, Jeff and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. The problem with that is in his last 3 starts, he's only gone 5 innings as well. It seems like right now, the best you can hope for out of a starting pitcher is to get 5 innings out of them. And that leaves 4 innings for this bullpen to cover. And I said this the other day, there is nobody down there that I have faith in right now. There is nobody coming out of the bullpen gate that I trust. So I need one of those rare Andrew Abbott starts where he's very pitch efficient. He pushes into the 6th, 7th inning, makes less innings for this bullpen to cover and give the Reds an opportunity to try and get back in the win column.
I expect he's going to pitch well, but I don't expect they're going to win the game. If you look at last night, they got 5 hits as a team, which is a totally different story. 4 of those were from 1 and 2 in the lineup. Leadoff hitter Elly de la Cruz. So it's going to be up to their offense to back up Andrew Abbott. And like I said, I fully suspect he'll go out there. He'll pitch well. He's a guy who has pitched well against the NL Central in his career. And it's not going to matter. I hate to say it that way, but they're going to lose this game 3-2, something like that. And it's very discouraging to say. I don't like being negative. We all know that. But I just don't see a situation where they beat this team. I just feel like there's no chance in hell they can ever beat this team. And like I said, I fully expect he's going to go out there and throw a quality, maybe more, maybe a 7-inning, 3-run kind of game. But if the offense doesn't put 4 or 5 runs up, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, there's still guys that haven't gotten going. You look at yesterday's game. Great performance by Elly de la Cruz. Really liking him in the leadoff spot.
Me too. Love it.
And I hope that continues to be a thing. I like Sal Stewart hitting number 2 right behind him. I think that's perfect. We can continue to roll forward with that. Beyond that, some guys got to get going. And that's kind of been the story of the season. We've been saying that all season long, waiting for anybody else to really step up and get the job done. Tyler Stevenson has shown signs. I don't know if you caught me talking about him over the last couple of days, but if you look at his June, he's finally starting to be that catcher we thought he could be, and that consistent hitter we thought he could be this season. But beyond that, there's really nobody else to point to and say, that guy's got it going on.
Yeah, Noelvi Marte has his moments, but obviously not to the point where we can be really encouraged by it. JJ Bleday is a guy who's drawing a lot of walks right now, but his June is nowhere near as good as his May was. So hopefully July is a better thing for him. But it's just really difficult when you're like, okay, when's Eugenio Suarez going to get going? When can you count on Nate Lowe to be more consistent? Is Matt McLain ever going to hit again? What purpose does CJ Friedl serve? I don't know, man.
You talk about Gino, and I've been one of the people that continued to kind of sit back and hope.
Me too.
That the power was coming, that the home runs were coming, that the things he was brought in here to do were coming. And if you look back on his numbers last year, it took him a while to get going, not this long. When they signed him, I said it would be great if he was another 45, 50 home run guy, but I'd also be happy if he was just a 30 home run dude in this lineup. That could still happen, but he needs to get going right now. Like, do not wait, do not delay. If he finds a way to turn it on and still get you to say, we'll use 30 home runs as the magic number. Is it still a successful season in your mind for Gino? I think so.
Yeah, absolutely, because they didn't have a guy who could hit 30 home runs last year. Elly was the closest thing, and he was hurt. Spencer Steer obviously has shown some power in the past, but he's a guy that I think Jeff might be right the way they're using him. I don't know if I agree if that's the route they should go, but they just they didn't have the pop. So for him, if Gino comes in here and hits 30 home runs, it's certainly not a failure of a year because he didn't hit the 49 mark like he did last year. It's just that it's, they don't have any extra guys to do that. Sal Stewart, I think, will be a 30 home run guy in his career, but man, they need everything they can get from Gino. And I was going to ask you to follow up on this question. He's such a fan favorite, and we're all going to love him and root for him because everything gets done for the franchise. Would you be okay if he was still on the roster and they didn't trade him at the deadline? Because I think I'm willing to deal with his struggles just because he's such a fan favorite and I love watching him play first.
Should they trade Gino? I don't know what you get for him that helps the team. I don't know what you get for him that makes this team more exciting to watch. It would feel to me like the only reason to trade him, the only person, the only people that would benefit from trading Gino at the break have the last name Castellini. And I am not in favor of doing anything
100%
that just helps those guys out.
100%. I completely agree with you. I want Gino to end his career with the Reds no matter how good or bad he is, because for the love of God, we need something to be happy about. That's not just Elly or Sal.
You talked about Sal Stewart possibly being a 30 home run guy. He has 16. This was his 16th home run that he hit in yesterday's game. 30 this season's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, and I was kind of saying that I thought he was going to be a 30 home run guy in his career at some point. I did not suspect it would be his rookie year. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, 14 is definitely doable when you play half of your games at Great American Ballpark. And if you look at the places they're going the rest of the year, obviously, like I said, they have those 3 games in Colorado. We know what the ball does there. Let's see where else. They go to Seattle. That's another place for some reason. Even though it's a giant ballpark, the ball seems to fly there as well. So, yeah, it's certainly in the realm of possibility. I completely agree.
Do you think he'll be a 100 RBI guy this year?
Unfortunately, no, but not because it's his fault. I just think that even though Elly is going to be, I think they should keep Elly and have 1 and 2 in the lineup. I just think those guys at the bottom of the order aren't getting on base enough for him. Edward Arroyo, notwithstanding, because he's been really, really good in like that 9-hole spot. But there's too many Jose Trevino at bats probably for that to happen. Yeah. So I think he might end up being like an 85 to 90 RBI guy, but 100 seems like that's just a little too high. But I think for his career, from here on out, you'll see him consistently as a 3,100 kind of guy. And
there might be a lot more Jose Trevino at bats depending on what happens with Tyler Stevenson.
Correct.
Deadline, because he picked a heck of a time to finally figure it out.
And PJ Higgins at bats too.
That's correct. Tyler Stevenson may be able to boost his value back to such a spot that it would be worth it for the Reds to look at moving him at the deadline if they're willing to concede that they're not going to win the wild card. I think you absolutely try and trade Tyler Stevenson for whatever you can get at the deadline because he's not re-signing with this team. So get something.
Completely agree with you. As much as I love him, would love to see him be a lifetime Red. It's not happening.
No, yeah, he's going to for sure get dealt. We see that now that Nate Lowe did not homer in yesterday's game. I saw an interesting stat. This is the first time since he became a regular player that he's gone an entire month without hitting a home run, which was a surprising stat for me. So 30-something consecutive months of baseball with a home run. That streak ended last night in Milwaukee.
So what does he give the Reds if he's not hitting homers?
The ability to play a little first base and rest a guy, I guess.
I'm not discouraged by his contact numbers.
I think he's still going to hit for some more power this year. He's not done hitting home runs.
Yeah, but will it be with the Cincinnati Reds?
Does he have trade value? Because if you at this point, if it's not a core that you're building around, trade him.
Agreed.
There's nobody that you should hold back on, especially if the rest of this Milwaukee series goes how it's been looking. There's no way with a straight face to have a conversation about being a wild card contender if you just, get swept in a 4-game series against the Brewers or 3 of 4 against the Brewers. It's pretty ugly reality, Tim.
Yes, it is, Steve, and we've got to be here every single day to talk about it. So.
And we're going to be here every single day to talk about it. We're not done yet, folks. Coming up, we're going to talk about center field and Matt McLain. That's next. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes tournament soccer so exciting, from the opening whistle to the final kick. Now, FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token. We've all seen those matches where it's scoreless and for what feels like forever, and then one goal completely flips the game. Suddenly, everyone's passing, everyone's pressing, the crowd comes alive, and that final 20 minutes becomes must-watch television. Get in on that action, again, with FanDuel, where every goal is going to give you bonus bets. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started right now. If you can't watch us here on YouTube, we are on every single audio podcasting platform around. If you find one we're not on and you need us to be there, shoot Jeff a message on social media. You can probably make it happen for you. Click the subscribe button while you're over there. That way you don't miss any of the great content we've got coming your way. All right, Tim, I know you talked about this a little bit on the postcast last night. We saw Matt McLain make his debut for the Reds in center field. And basically what we're going to see moving forward, it looks like, is a platoon of Matt McLain and TJ Friedl in center field until such time that Blake Dunn returns from the injured list. Looking bleak as far as an offensive counting stats platoon. Neither one of these guys are having a lot of success at the plate, Tim, but it looks like that's who the Reds are going to roll with moving forward.
I blame you, just so we're clear, because you've been talking about this for 2 years. So this is all your fault. I'm just hoping you're aware of this.
I have to own it. That's a true story.
Yeah. This is so stupid. It's a total failure, the Cincinnati Reds. I'm so sick of this whole process because they've done this now so many times. Look at their current look at their current outfielders. Spencer Steer, infielder. Noelvi Marte, infielder. Matt McLain, infielder. TJ Friedl, absolutely terrible at baseball at this point. Can't play baseball anymore. Should be a Colorado Rocky or somewhere. You can't say Miami Marlins anymore because they were the best team in June. What a sentence. But this is just such a stupid, irresponsible decision that Nick Krall and crew do all the time. Now, Noelvi Marte, I understand. He went to Tito and he's like, hey, you don't have anybody? I'll play right field. Sure. But when you're seeing this stuff like, oh, yeah, that, he's out there, Matt McLain's out there shaking fly balls every day in batting practice.
Well, he did play center field for UCLA.
Shut up.
Look,
Steve, he hasn't played center field in like 6 years for real.
No, that's not true. He played center field in the Arizona Fall.
I don't care about the fall league. It's not real baseball.
Listen, that was funny. I texted our group chat asking why.
This thing's becoming legendary, by the way.
I know. Ivan Johnson versus Hector Rodriguez.
Yeah, with the H.
And the decision making behind that process. And this is our answer. Actually, Tim, I've been thinking about it a little bit throughout yesterday after I sent the text. The Reds have made a decision that they would rather keep Matt McLain on the big league roster with the big league team and not send him down to Louisville, use him in center field, use him on the infield, than to bring up Hector Rodriguez. Because if you bring up Hector Rodriguez, he needs to play every day so that you can see what you got. He can't come up and spot start and go a couple days at a time without playing. They can do that with Matt McLain. And they can do that with Ivan Johnson. So I think that's really what the decision was. It wasn't so much about not bringing up Hector Rodriguez as it was about wanting to keep Matt McLain on the big league roster. I don't want to give up on Matt McLain. I have a hard time believing that you can go from how he performed his rookie year to just simply not being able to hit anymore. But then I remember that he completely wrecked his shoulder. And maybe, just maybe, all of the doctors in Los Angeles and everywhere else that he saw couldn't quite put it back together right. Maybe there's something lingering. Maybe there's something still going on. He's never going to tell us, but he's not been right since.
It's not like the Reds haven't gone through this before, where a guy that they moved from the infield to the outfield had really bad shoulder problems. Like, oh, wait, we did go through that, and we took him number 2 overall in the draft. So, it's not like they know how to prepare for this, because their medical staff is obviously so great at their jobs, and they always get it right. What are we doing, Steve? What are we doing? You mentioned Hector Rodriguez. At this point, bring up Austin Hendrick. Let's see if he can play baseball. Let's see if he can do it. He's had a pretty decent year for once in his minor league career. He was a first-round draft pick 6 years ago and is still yet to make a major league at-bat. Let's just see what he's got. We're not going anywhere. Let's have some fun.
Well, I think you might get your wish, but it's going to be the day after the trade deadline, because I think if they do start a fire sale, if they do trade away everything not nailed down that's not part of the core, they're going to have to call guys up, because I would imagine what they get back is not necessarily players you're going to drop into the lineup right away.
For sure.
It might be guys that need to wait another year and go to spring training. So we could see everybody that's left in Louisville. I heard an interview the other day. It was actually Jim Kelch interviewing TJ Friedl while he was still down in Louisville. And Lance McAllister made mention that there's currently 11 or 12 guys in Louisville that have appeared in the big leagues this year. And he read off the list of names. None of them really very impressive.
Yeah. I don't know if you and Jeff talked about this, but did you see the other day that 6 guys from Dayton got called up to Chattanooga all together?
No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, Duno was in the list, obviously. That was only a matter of time. But this is kind of what they have to do. And the thing about drafting prospects anymore, if you draft guys in the first round, they're in the big leagues the next year now. It's been 2-3 years in the farm system anymore. How many guys do the Reds have that can do that right now? I love Steele Hall. I think Steele Hall has a chance to be really good. He's not major league ready.
He's far away.
Right. Where, look at the Chase Burns draft class. All the top 10 guys are in the big leagues.
Can you imagine Pat Kelly sitting around in Louisville and just gather around boys, the team gathers around, and, he just has an Oprah moment. He's like, you're getting a call up, and you're getting a call up, and you're getting a call up, and you know what? Everybody's getting a call up.
We should actually broadcast it when he tells all those guys, just every single one of them, because that's what we're going to get to come September.
Yeah, I agree. And on that fun note, that is where we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Thanks as always for making Locked On Reds your first listen every day. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you being an everydayer. I know it's not fun baseball right now, but we appreciate you sticking with this team. We love this team. We know you love this team, and maybe, hopefully, somehow it's going to get better. Help is coming. I don't know all the things. Nick Krall looks at a camera and says, for the audio folks, go make your second listen of the day. Locked On MLB, 3 great shows over there giving you Major League Baseball from a national perspective. They've got Locked On MLB, they've got Back to the Bullpen, and they've got MLB Game Night. For the video folks, you're going to head over to Locked On's first ever 24/7 national YouTube channel where all of the experts of the entire network are talking ball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We will be back in your feeds tomorrow. Tim with the postcast, Jeff and I with the Locked On Reds mothership. We'll be gathering up all the news, the notes, the rumors, the reports, and the information to keep you locked on Reds every single day. Let's just win one.
Just
Come
one.
on.
Just
Come on.